Hi there, this is Harry and welcome back to Advanced English Lessons with Harry, where we try to help you to get a better understanding of the English language. We try to help you to speak better, to have better conversational English, understand business English, prepare for those proficiency exams that you want to take, all aspects to do with grammar, phrasal verbs, whatever it takes. We're here to help you. And if you like this particular lesson, then please like the video, and if you can, subscribe to the channel because it really helps. Okay, so in this particular lesson, we're going to look at other ways to say, I don't know. Okay, so when somebody asks us a question, we can say simply, I don't know. I don't know what you want to do. But there are many other ways in which we can use it. So we're going to look at this in this advanced English lesson, alternatives or options, how you can say, I don't know. Now, some of them will be formal, some of them will be informal, and some we might regard as slang. So I'll try to identify each of those when we go through them. Okay, so as always, I've got a list of 12. I'm going to give you the list, and then I'll go back through them to give you a situation and an example when you can use them. So here goes. Number 1, I have no idea. I haven't the foggiest. I have no clue. I haven't got a clue. Or I'm clueless. So when we talk about clue, we can use it in any way. I have no clue, I haven't a clue, or I'm clueless. Dunno. Your guess is as good as mine. It beats me. Don't ask me. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'll look into it and I'll get back to you. Great question, let's look at that. Who knows, or how would I know? Okay, so they're the 12 alternatives to say, I don't know. I'm going to go through them one by one, tell you whether they are formal, informal, or slang, and then we'll give you an example. So the first one, I have no idea. Now, this is probably quite neutral, actually. It's not really formal, but it's not neither informal either, so it's a little bit neutral. So if somebody asks you, what are you going to do today? I've no idea. I've just got home from work. I was working that late shift, so I've really no idea what I'm going to do today. So let me have a bit of breakfast and we'll talk about it later. Where are the kids? Oh, I've no idea. They went out earlier on with their friends, said they'll be back in time for tea. So we'll have to wait and see where they are. I tried to text them, but they didn't take their mobile phones with them. I have no idea. Second one is a little bit more informal, yeah, and it's I haven't the foggiest. Now, fog is when something we can't see through. It's a weather condition when the night has been warm and the morning is cold, and you get this air trapped, and you create this fog, and you can't see through it. So this is what we mean when we say I haven't the foggiest. Means I have no idea, I don't know, but it's quite informal, yeah. Okay, so what are you going to do when your tax disc runs out with the car? Are you going to renew it, or are you going to sell the car? I haven't the foggiest. I really don't want to pay all that money again because I really don't use the car, but at the moment I haven't the foggiest, but I'll think about it over the next couple of weeks and then I'll make my decision. What would you like for dinner tonight? I haven't the foggiest. I mean, I'd like something different, you know, when you get that sort of taste for something a little different than we usually have, but I don't know what I want. I haven't the foggiest. So again, I don't know. I haven't any idea. Now, the next to say the 3 options, we're talking about clue. I haven't a clue, I have no clue, or I'm clueless. So a clue is something that will help you solve a problem. When the detective looks into a murder or some robbery, they are looking for clues so that will point them in the direction of who committed the crime. But when you say, I haven't a clue, means I've no idea, or I have no clue, again, I have no idea, or I'm clueless. Okay, so yeah. Though if you want, what's the boss want to have that meeting about? He's sent around an email a few minutes ago and we have to assemble in the boardroom at 5 o'clock, but on 5 o'clock on a Friday, it must be something serious. Do you know what's going on? I haven't a clue. I've no clue. I'm clueless. Like you, I'll have to wait until I get to the meeting. Okay, so Obviously, it's serious if the boss calls for a meeting at 5 o'clock on a Friday, but you don't know, you haven't the information. So you say, well, I've no clue, I haven't got a clue, or I haven't a clue, or I'm completely clueless. Yeah, okay. Now, you could always refer to somebody as, oh, they've no clue what they're doing. They haven't a clue as to how to do it. They are clueless. So we can use it in that way as a sort of a criticism of the work somebody does, or their inability to do something that you've asked them to do. He's clueless. Next is very, very informal. Dunno. Yeah, means I don't know, but we use dunno. Yeah, it's like wanna and gonna, one of these Americanizations. Yeah, so yeah. What you going to do at the weekend? Dunno. What are you going to do after dinner? Dunno. What are you going to do about those results you got in your exam? Dunno. Typical of what a child might say to you when you're looking for information and the only response you get is dunno, dunno, dunno. Can be really annoying and get right under your skin, but it's a classic response. I don't know. Dunno. Do you know anything? Dunno. So always that dunno, I don't know. Next, your guess is as good as mine. So this is a little bit more formal. Your guess is as good as mine. Really what it means is you have every bit of information that I have. You have as much information as I have. So your guess is as good as mine. So if we go back to that meeting of the boss at 5 o'clock on a Friday, and your friends say to you, or your colleagues say to you, do you know what's going on? What's the meeting about? Well, your guess is as good as mine, meaning I can guess what it might be about, but you could make the same guess because you've all got the same information. Your guess is as good as mine. Okay. What are the local council going to do with that wasteland at the end of the street? They've put big signs up and they've put big boards around it, so they're obviously getting ready for something. Well, your guess is as good as mine. You know what they're like here. They never tell you in advance, so they'll probably start building. It could be a school, it could be shopping centre, it could be apartments. We're in big need of apartments around here, so you never know with the council. So the boarding has gone up. We're just going to have to wait and see for a few months when they start digging the ground up and putting in the foundations. We might get an idea then, but at the moment, well, yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Next, it beats me. So a little bit more informal. It beats me. So when we use it beats me, it means I'm defeated, literally. Yeah. So I really don't know. I'm trying to work out what the answer is, but beats me. Yeah. So again, if we're talking about the corporation, what they're going to do with the vacant site in the center of the town or at the end of the street, do you know what they're doing? Well, it beats me. I mean, I've been trying to work it out now for a couple of days. So it beats me means I'm defeated. I've scratched my head. I'm trying to think of what it might be. We'll just have to wait and see. I really hope it's not another shopping centre, or I really hope it's not one of those big glass buildings. So you won't know. And so at the moment, it beats me, meaning I really don't know. And it's quite informal. Don't ask me. Well, again, yeah, when somebody says to you, well, what's happening? Well, don't ask me. So, well, they are asking you, but they're asking you because they think you know, but you just respond, well, don't ask me. How would I know? Yeah. So they think you have the information. They think you know what's going on. What's wrong with Mary? She's in a really, really bad mood. She's been like that since she got home from university yesterday, and I can't seem to get through to her. Oh, don't ask me. You know what she's like. She has these little moods from time to time. So she'll tell us when she's ready to tell us. She might have had an argument with a friend. She might have fallen out with a boyfriend again. Who knows? So don't ask me. So it's informal, but it's a way of saying, look, I don't know. You don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. So it beats me. I don't know what's wrong. I'm not sure. So when we use I'm not sure, there's a little bit of uncertainty here. You might have some ideas, but when you say I'm not sure, well, then it indicates that possibly, but you don't want to say exactly because you might be wrong. Okay, so if you want to know when or what time your babysitter is going to arrive, did you arrange for the babysitter? Yes, I sent her the message when you asked me to. I told her we were going to be going out at around 7 o'clock. So what time is she going to get here? Well, I'm not sure, but she's usually here on time. So I'm not sure means I'm a little bit uncertain. What will you get your mother for her birthday? Oh, I'm not sure, what she's like. She says she doesn't want anything, but in reality, she would really like something. And anytime we give her a present, she's really appreciative of it. So I'm not sure what we should get. That's a good question. Now, this is quite formal, okay? So at a meeting, particular when somebody asks for some information, somebody wants to know what the strategy is, somebody wants to know what the marketing plan, what the launch of the new product is. So they've got lots of questions that they want answers to. So when you ask the question, the boss says, that's a good question. Now, he might not have a good answer. He might have no answer, or she might have no answer, but that's a good question is another way of saying, well, look, I don't know. So they're responding to your request for that additional information. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm really going to have to think about it, and I'll come back to you later, but leave it with me. Okay, so it's the classic way when somebody doesn't have the information that you want, and it's not a bad way to answer it because at least they're not going to bullshit you and say and give you some answer that really isn't true. So that they say, well, that's a good question, but I need to go away and think about it and I'll come back to you. I hadn't thought about that, or we haven't really got that far yet, but it's a good question. Let me think about it. Or I look into it and I'll get back to you. So again, when somebody asks the boss or the line manager about something in particular, and if they don't have the information, well, then again, it's better for them to say something like, leave it with me, I'll look into it and I'll get back to you. So that's a good classic response. It's quite formal. Leave it with me, I'll look into it and I'll get back to you. And it means, I'll take it away, I'll think about it, I'll ask a few people if I need to. I might have to talk to the HR department or the marketing department or somebody else, but I will look into it, meaning I will investigate it and I will get back to you. It's my promise. I'll come back to you with an answer. Okay? Now, another one. Great question. Let's look into that. Okay, so great question. Let's look into that. Again, another formal way of responding to somebody. So around the meeting table, at the boardroom, wherever it might be, somebody asks a question. Oh, great question. Well, let's look at that in a little bit more detail. So let's look into that. Yeah, so let's examine it in a bit more detail. Great question. Let's look into that. Let's examine it. Okay. And then finally, who knows, or how would I know? So a little bit more informal. And usually when somebody says it, they just go, oh, who knows? There's a little bit of an exclamation, and it's all about the tone and the intonation in your voice. Or when you really don't know, well, you're a little bit annoyed that they've asked you and you've told them time and time again that you don't know. So you respond with, well, how would I know? I mean, I'm the same as you. We're at the same level. Nobody tells me anything around here anyway. So how would I know? Yeah? So you come home from work and the kids are not there and your wife seems to be a little bit upset. There's a little bit of a problem. And you say, well, where are the kids? Oh, who knows? They never tell me anything. Yeah. But, they were here earlier. Yeah, they were here earlier. Did they not say where they were going? How would I know? They don't tell me anything. That something's happened, somebody's a little bit annoyed, and then there's a little bit of tension, and the response you get is, who knows? How would I know? So all in the intonation in the voice. Okay, so let's look at those again quickly. I have no idea. I really don't know. I haven't the foggiest, so I just don't know at all. I have no clue. I haven't a clue. I'm clueless. Dunno. A shrug of the shoulders. Dunno. Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. It beats me. Don't ask me. I'm not sure. Bit of uncertainty. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I don't know the answer, but it's a good question. I'll look into it and I'll get back to you. I'll look into it and I'll get back to you. Great question. Let's look into that. And then finally, who knows? How would I know? Okay, so all ways or alternative ways to say, I don't know. Try to pick out a couple of them. Try to use them so you're not using the same expression all the time, so you get a little bored with I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Try a few of the others. Try to see how you can use them, introduce them, feel comfortable with them, and then practice a few others. And if you need any help or any other suggestions, of course, please come back to me. I really appreciate you watching. I really appreciate you listening. And as always, join me again soon.